Look at him recording stuff. All right, so it's day 2, a week later, but that doesn't matter. We're back here at Kaden's house. Thomas and Garrett are already working on getting the diff in, and while they're doing that, I'm gonna roll the fenders, and the angle kit, the correct one, should be here very soon. So funny thing here, we kind of didn't inspect these. So this is 6 holes and they're kind of like 3 pairs of 2. Take a look at the axle here. They're evenly spaced. Enjoyable time? Right? Right, Kaden? Look happy. So here's the original diff. Pull up a little side by side here. Not the same. Not the same at all. Put the old diff back in so I can at least drive it. We can see how the fitment is with these new coilovers and everything like that. And then next video, or one of the next videos, I think we'll fix oil pan. So we've made the decision to put the open diff back in.
We didn't make the decision.
We were forced to make the decision to put the open diff back in. So now we're just tightening everything up. Got the sway bar going in, and then we're gonna put all this back together. We put the car down for the first time, and it's not looking good.
That was terrifying.
It was a little too low, so now we're raising it. So far, we're gonna go up about 1/2 inch. We've also done a little bit of an alignment, and you know, we got it within 1/4 inch as far as toe goes, so good enough to drive it on the street for a little bit. But Kaden, how are you feeling?
Well, I smacked my wrist with the power of yes, so it hurts.
The power of yes.
Oh yeah. You're making it. Well, we can loosen the shocks a little bit. So we've raised the car up about an inch. About an inch.
Inch in total.
And it's looking good. We can turn the wheel all the way. It's clearance. But we haven't driven the car, so the suspension hasn't settled. So we might run into issues later, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's go ahead, take it for a drive. What do you say?
I'm hungry.
Yay? Nay?
I'm hungry. I want food.
We're hungry.
And I need to shower.
So we put it all the way soft. We just want to like demonstrate what it looks like. So jump on it. You can see how much it moves. So now let's put it all the way hard. Okay, so now jump on it again. Oh, look at that. Look at the difference. That's insane.
That's crazy.
So yeah, these BC Racing coilovers are like freaking awesome. First drive in the E46 after we did all this work. You excited?
I'm very excited. It seems fine as of right now.
I just take the wheel off.
I don't know, I felt like it. I just
had to
wanted
get
see
ready.
if it works.
He's race ready now.
Nervous. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see how it does.
Yeah. So
immediate problem. There's a slight rub on the passenger side. It's slight. It's
we should
slight.
probably go back and fix that.
All right, so we found the slight rubbing issue. It's just like this little bit here. It's not a big deal. We can just cut it out. But we happen to find ourselves at a restaurant, and we happen to all be hungry, so we're gonna go eat. It is day 2 of part 2 of fixing the E46. Season 1, take 40. But anyways, today we are going to be working on the oil pan. We want to avoid the same problem that Thomas ran into, which was the oil pump nut backing itself off and then the engine exploded. So we are going to be taking the oil pan off and using a little nut with a wire, and that way the nut will never come out. At least that's the hope. We do also have a couple other things planned for the car. We are going to weld the diff, we have an exhaust to put in, and we have to finish up the angle kit. All that will be coming later, probably day 3, hopefully still in this part. I don't think we're gonna make 3 videos on this. So there's a lot of things to do to get started here, but we'll just start with the basics. Jack it up, pop the hood, take a couple things off, but there's like 40 steps in a little website we found on how to take the oil pan off. So we'll just be following that. I think it involves dropping the subframe, so it's gonna be a ton of fun. accessory belt. Have to bring you over here for this one. Got the power steering pump. Just dangling, that's all it needs to be, it's just out of the way. Let's keep moving on. There's a couple more little things to get out of the way out of here, and then we will drop the subframe, but we need to put a little engine hoist here. I'll show you that one when we get it. So this is called an engine support bar. You can see right there. We definitely didn't just buy it or anything.
No, we've had this for months.
We've had this forever. We have all tools. So anyways, this is now holding up the engine, so that way when we take the rear or the subframe off, the engine doesn't fall. So now we're going to take the steering shaft off and the subframe, and then there's a couple other little bolts that are attached to the oil pan that has to come off. So let's get to it. Now under the car, we're gonna take this pan off or something. I think it's supposed to be like a brace or something to protect the oil pan, but it's gotta go. Off. This is the oil pan here. What we're going to do next is kind of take off all this stuff, the lower control arms, anything that's like linking the subframe to the chassis. So lower control arms, sway bar. I think there's a couple other things with the steering rack. I'll see. Next, we'll get these two sway bar bolts off. There's two on each side, so it's actually 4. But I've already got the other side loosened up. Okay, sway bar is nice and loose. Should be out of the way enough. I don't think I need to take off the end links or anything. Should just be able to let it dangle. This is the steering shaft bolt, and it's got to come out. So we're gonna take it out. Just like that. Ow, it's out. I didn't just hit myself on the head or anything. Okay, next couple little things that I did. I took this oil pan sensor off here. And next, let me get in the spot. Next, we will be taking this nut off here. That is the engine mount nut. And then we'll be taking these torque bolts or reverse torque bolts off, and that'll drop the subframe, and then we can get the pan off. Okay, so now this here is the subframe. We're gonna put a jack under it to hold it up, and we're gonna take out the 4 bolts that hold it up. Now the other one. What? I almost myself.
It's lowered a little bit. There we go. There we go. We can get the oil pan out now.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Now it's really lowering. Okay, so you can see here the subframe is lowered from the oil pan, and now we can start taking the oil pan off. So let's go ahead, zip these 30-some bolts off. So all the oil pan bolts are off, all like 40 of them. So now we are going to hit it with a mallet and see if this thing pops off.
It should come off. Wow, look at that.
Would you look at that? So if we take a look here, this is the oil pan nut that is wired onto the oil pump itself. So basically that's going to stop it from loosening at all, and you'll still be able to take it off later in the future if you need to. So now let's go ahead, throw this oil pan back on. It's all cleaned up and stuff, and go from there. We're getting the oil pan back on. Things are going pretty smoothly so far, but there's a bunch of more bolts to put back in, so help, we'll go from there. Yeah, Kaden needs help. We all need help. It's like 10 p.m.
So quiet. I need a louder exhaust. That's so quiet.
All right, guys, it took 11 hours for us to do this, but as you can see, it's running. That's all we could ask for. Also, I know I said in the beginning that this wasn't gonna run into 3 parts, but guess what? There's a part 3.